And we are back for game 5 of this semifinals match of Antrezi versus Azumo. It all comes down to this. Botticus, what have you thought so far of this match, man?
Yeah, and Treasy has just really shown that he can go toe to toe with these kind of old school type players, just like Azumo during this whole tournament. Azumo came in as the top point earner, and I think we're just going to have a really exciting game 5 here because both players have just been playing extremely well, and we have a super close matchup for game 5 in Zoo Warlock versus Murloc Paladin.
And it looks like we are jumping right into the mulligans here, so let's go ahead and get started. And we're jumping right here into the mulligans. Look like we got a double Murloc here on Antrezi's side and the call to arms. Always love to see that. But he's throwing away one and getting the second call to arms. I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, the I kind of liked keeping both Murlocs in your opening hand. You're going to guarantee the Chum gets the buff on the Murloc Tide Collar, which is exactly what you want. You want as many early game Murlocs as you can, so that when you go into this call to arms, you already kind of have a board presence. And now we see the Kobold Librarian coming out. It's going to line up really well against this Murloc Tide Collar.
Yeah, that's really dangerous for Antrezi, but the Chum comes back regardless. He's going to get the buff, and he really doesn't mind losing that. I mean, Azumo is anticipating probably a Tide Collar follow-up, something like that, so he has to take care of that Chum regardless. But the Vulgar Homunculus, man, this 2-4 with Taunt just demands that Azumo has some board presence and has control. And when both of these players are fighting for that as their ultimate win condition, man, that's a huge start for him.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to coin out this Rallying
Oh,
Blade. Just look
wow.
how this Vulgar Homunculus lines up against Rallying Blade here. I mean, it's going to basically deal at least 6 damage to Antrezi and soak up 6 damage from the 2 hits, as far as I can tell.
Fantastic for him. I mean, the Demon Fire wouldn't win against Rallying Blade. It could push a lot of damage, but the Glacial Shard? Oh, baby, that's going to let Homunculus live another turn, and it's going to force something out of Antrezi. I mean, Divine Favor is not really an option, so it looks like a Chum into Tide Caller is going to do it here for him.
Yeah, that Chum was a great pickup there for Antrezi. You're going to want to play it before the Tide Caller because it gives you a little bit of extra
Mm-hmm.
toughness on the Tide Caller. Couldn't have really asked for a better draw this turn, but as you can see, he used the coin last turn, so now we're not coin call to armsing this turn, which, the Soulfire in Azumo's hand's going to
That's
do a really good
brutal.
job of taking care of the Tide Caller here.
And the Blood Fury Potion is really just going to create that solid wall for Azumo. Things are not looking great for Antrezi right off the bat here. These call to arms are going to have to be pretty fantastic in order for him to regain some semblance of a board.
Yeah, we really need call to arm, or Antrezi really needs call to arms to pull out like a knife juggler and get some damage in. You're actually pretty happy with the Righteous Protector coming out, except that we know that Azumo has a Spellbreaker in their hands, so unfortunately, this Vulgar Homunculus is not going to just get taken out by the 1/1 Righteous Protector.
No, and he's considering that Spellbreaker, man, that just feels so bad on a little dinky 1-1, but he kind of has to do it. Now, it looks like he is going for the trade here. I guess he's respecting the tribe of the Murlocs, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing the Zoo Warlock deck, you can really lean on your hero power later in the game as long as you have early board control. So I kind of like Azumo's play here of trading with the biggest Murloc on the board, just trying to maintain board control so that hopefully later in the game, his hero power can take over and win from there.
And those knives, man, we were really hoping to see one on that Voidwalker. Now the question is it really beneficial to trade both of his guys into the Voidwalker?
Yeah, I like at least bumping with the Inquisitor, just are in case Azumo has any kind of buff spells, like we see the Demon Fire in his hand. So I like, not reducing the toughness on our Inquisitor too much and just getting a little bit of bump damage in there.
And Crystal Weaver, a great pickup here. I mean, you really want to buff an entire board full of minions, but at least with the Voidwalker, he's going to be able to do some good trading here. Saving that Demon Fire until now gives him something to take care of that Tide Caller, which is just fantastic for him. I mean, he's going to have some good trades here, and I mean, Azumo has just been dominating this board since the very beginning with that Homunculus.
Yeah, this is exactly how Azuma wants this match to go. Now Entrezy's looking at his hand. He's going to have to play this Hydrologist first and then kind of see what secret he gets and then determine whether he wants to play Gentle Megasaur or the Purifier's Maul that he just drew. I most likely will want to play this Megasaur just because you really need a board presence. You're already down to 16 life. Your opponent's still at 23. You have a lot of life to chew through, and you're ahead on cards for the time being. So hopefully you can just get your board presence going and are able to, kind of take over from here before Azumo's hero power comes into play.
Yeah, not great options here with the secret, and he goes with the eye for an eye. Did he mean to pick that?
That's
what
really
world
surprising.
are you picking eye for an eye in?
That's a really surprising choice for me. I mean, as I said earlier, Azumo's still at 23. I don't really know how you're going to race this. And he even takes 5 damage from attacking with the weapon there onto the Crystal Weaver.
And from attacking into the Homunculus earlier that had the Blood Fury Potion on it, he's taken 10 damage now so far from attacking into the demons, which Azumo just loves. I mean, this Eye for an Eye is turning into a 1-mana Mind Blast. I guess that's good, but with the Doomguard in hand at this point, Azumo does not need much in order to clinch this match.
Yep, and he's just going to play out the Despicable Dreadlord and say, you need to deal with both of my minions, or this Doomguard's going to come into play and end the game. Warlater, pretty good pickup there for Entrezy. We can play Megasaur, hope that we get something really good. Flaming Claws, really solid here. It'll allow us to trade both of our minions with Azumo's minions so we don't take any damage this turn. A little bit better than Poisonous because our War Leader can get in for a bunch of damage next turn. So I think that's probably what I would choose here.
I mean, either way, he has to take care of this board, right? That Doomguard is going to do 5 damage and leave him with just 1 piddly little hit point left.
Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate part is this Divine Favor's kind of been stuck in our hand all game, and Azumo hasn't had to tap as much. He is just now starting to be able to tap and keeping his hand size low, which has been pretty fortunate for him in this situation.
Time is running out here, and he's going to have to take a pick. Looks like it's going to be Poisonous, which is enough to go ahead and clear out the board. The real question is, what is Azumo going to do? Oh, but he goes with the face to trade.
Yeah, and Treasy basically is saying that he wants to end the game in 2 turns, and he's not going to be able to beat a Doomguard or a Soulfire from Azumo, and just kind of wants to end the game in 2 turns. And unfortunately, he's going to lose to that Doomguard, and Azumo goes on to the finals.
Really was hoping not to see that, but great match by both players, and cannot wait to see Azumo in the finals. We'll be right back with that after this.